Well, hello. I don't really know how to start this. It's been so long. I just, you know, I'm back. I was in Oregon for about what's 9 months? 9 months. Well, really? 8 months. I was in Oregon for 8 months. Really, I was in Oregon for roughly 60 days. I actually counted. Um, and now I'm back in Boston getting my lungs cleaned out with this big ass IV that goes zoop yoink into my right atrium. Sorry, SVC. They always jam it further than that, though. It's all right. It's cool. It's cool. It was actually the easiest procedure I've ever had. I think it's because I waited a year in between them. So I wanted to make this video to kind of say, hi, I'm not dead still. Things are going way better. I'm actually, I cannot seem to use my video camera, aka my phone to stay put. All right, I've gotten a huge break mentally, like clarity of just stability, chilled out, seeing who I am as a person when I'm not on drugs all the time. And by drugs, I mean weed, THC, weed and edibles. I don't do real drugs. I don't know if that was ever made clear, but I don't. I'm on one thing called Subutex. That doesn't count. Let's not talk about that. Point is, I spent a lot of time seeing who I am as a person and seeing what I actually value and what I believe. And I did a lot of journaling and a lot of self-therapizing. Because in my opinion, you really only have a therapist there to know the questions to ask you, but you're answering them. So if I could play the role as both, which I ended up doing. You should see my journal. I might actually post, maybe I'll make like I don't know if I would make it into a video where I just flip through each page and give you a minute to pause and read the page, or if I could put it on like an actual thing document-wise so you could actually have it somewhere, like a link, Dropbox link, whatever. Point is, I did a lot of self-therapizing and looking into my resentments, all of them in my stem back to my parents, because all of the resentments I had towards the people in my life and institutions in my life that had harmed me or done me dirty stem back to them putting me there because they couldn't act like adults. So that was hard. Resentments was tough. The limiting core beliefs, that was huge. Limiting core beliefs are things like, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'll always fail, I can't do XYZ, because there is nothing in the world that anyone can't do. So I had a lot of those, and picking those slowly apart and unweaving it was a difficult process, honestly. But all that hostility and all that like tension and ferocity isn't there. Like, I've started doing yoga, for one thing, twice a day, if not a lot more than that. And it's very different. It's very, very different. Not just because of yoga, 95% because of yoga, 5% because I also started doing like all this introspection and editing of my, operating system. Really, it was realizing I don't know what I'm doing clearly, and I'm running into the same issues. So when I left Boston initially, I pretty much didn't leave. I left Boston, but Boston was still very much in my brain. And it was very difficult for the first couple of weeks, just kind of orienting and all that. But then, I'll go into more detail of like what I did. But yeah, I had a lot of very interesting experiences basically. And now I'm back here because I have to do another surgery on my hand. So I've moved out of my apartment in Oregon. Hopefully not permanently, because I do like Oregon. And now I'm back at home, and it's not even been a week, and I'm already like this. I'll see if I can find a video that's upload worthy, just so I can show you the difference of me as me versus me as my parents' version of me, because it's a pretty stark contrast. And honestly, just living in this environment is hell. Not this one. See, I would come here, get this hellish procedure where you're conscious for it, and they stab you in the neck. They don't actually stab you. They cut your neck open first, so it's like wide open, and then jam this thing into your superior jugular vein, which goes to your jugular artery and then into your heart, and pump you full of shit that, like, as my lungs are getting better, that's about the only part of my body that feels better. I start getting nauseous within 2 to 3 days, and that just keeps getting worse daily. And my ligaments and muscles and joints start really feeling like they're gonna snap off my bones, they get dried out. It feels like my muscles become beef jerky. It's gross, it's nasty, and very creepy. And I still would take all of this, all the freedom of movement, freedom of being able to take my meds how and when I want, etc. I would take all of that just to stay in this very uncomfortable bed instead of my parents' house, because it's that toxic. It's really like, it's showing me, one, I would be, stop that shit. I would probably be very happy homeless, Like, I need very little, like, I'm comfortable with just, you know, food, water, and a shelter. That's like, don't even really need friends. You do. But like, you know, talking with normal everyday people, I was making friends left and right in Oregon. Like, I'm still in contact with like 5 people from there right now. It's just that I really had to like just get that shift. I forgot where I was going, and I'm now lost in an ADHD rant. So I'm gonna probably end the video roughly around here. But I just wanted to kind of check in. I'm doing really well. I'm going through a yoga teacher training, which will start on like early September. And it's a like full-blown 6-month course. It's a 200-hour certification, and I hope to do that and then delve my whole life into yoga. Like, I've been saying this for years though. I've been saying this since the beginning of this channel, actually. I wanted to do, you know, all sorts of outdoorsy stuff and exploring things, and I wanted to do airsoft for a bit. That's kind of died. And like gaming has died. I don't want to do gaming. I don't want to do airsoft. I want to do yoga pretty much exclusively. Not just because of how much it changed my life, but because how everyone who does a good yoga class is hooked. Like, everyone I've ever talked to that I was at a treatment program called Casa Palmera. If you know anybody on drugs, send them to there. It's in California, called Casa Palmera. Do it. It's like it's unlike anywhere I've ever been. I've been to some very nice detoxes, and it's like that's another vibe. That's another world, actually. I learned so much in every single group that I spent there. Every single one had like, not just nuggets of wisdom, but like just a smorgasbord of gold. And that was where I learned a lot about core beliefs, limiting core beliefs, resentment, and tone. Like the tone of how you come into an interaction. Is it a tone of, you know, assistance, help, etc.? It's like being mindful essentially of the Eightfold Path, which is something that yogism and Buddhism kind of really dive into, and it's why I got into refuge recovery, etc. So essentially I'm saying I'm trying to learn more about Buddhism and become closer to enlightened and chill than constantly upset and constantly defending or attacking. Because that's just a way to heat yourself up and have caustic, acidic, hot blood all day long. And that was kind of how I lived for 10 years, and it's not the way to do it. So, yeah, there you go. I'm gonna end it here. I'm alive. Things are going pretty well. Last thing I'll end with, you'll love this, is I can now do some very unsafe yoga moves. For instance, my balance is pretty much world class. If I could get it for a second, I have to remember to breathe for that to work. I'm turning so you can see. All right, then there's this. Oh, already getting weak. I swear to God, I can push that up and just hold it. What are some other hard poses? Grounding through the heel is a huge part, because most people want to stand on their feet. Or sorry, balls of their feet. What else? You'd think I would know. Arrowhead, there you go, that's kind of tough. Just trust the leg is straight back behind me. Maybe I should have done this in a better place. But I've shown you none of the cool parts, but yoga is yoga. I can touch my hands to my heels, palms to the ground without like leaving my heels on the... I can't talk. I just can't talk. Point is, yoga makes you very flexible, very fast. And oh, here's a way to show you how much yoga I've been doing. Fucking stay put. Thank you. I'm doing so much yoga, I'm never angry now. Breaks his phone. All right. You little bitch. Oh, I will end this thing. Violence is not the answer. Okay. Left foot. Let's try left foot. Actually, nope, I can do it with left foot too. That was all. I'll see you guys later. I can't edit videos still, so I'm just gonna whoomp.